DLC.
This one's called Balatro, I think, or Balatro, or Balatro. I don't know. Balatro, whatever. This game is not out yet. There's only a demo.
Mm.
And I will tell you, folks, this game comes with a real warning. It will steal your life. Just the demo. It will, if you're like me, it will steal hours from you.
Sounds like you're describing Alan Wake again all of a sudden. This game has a warning. Do not.
Well, it's not because it's scary. It's not because this is like one of those games where it's like, oh, this doesn't look like much. I'll just fiddle around with it. And then like you come out of a fugue state 3 hours later, like I've been playing for so long. I was recommended this game. People are calling it like the pure roguelite, like a pure, almost perfectly designed roguelite. And that's not wrong. This is poker. So already I've turned some people off. But it's poker as a roguelite. And it's done in this really fun aesthetic. At least I find the aesthetic very, very fun. It's almost like you're playing at a video poker machine, like from the 90s. It's kind of this pixel art video poker machine, and it's got a filter on it that looks like it's a CRT monitor. You know, it's got little glitches and like scan lines and stuff. But what you're doing in this game is you are making poker hand combinations, and each card in the deck has a value to it. And so the combined value gets filtered through a multiplier that you can manipulate. And so the inherent value of the cards that you are putting into a poker hand times the multiplier equals the amount of chips that you win per hand. Okay. So you have these fights, I guess is the best way to put them, these confrontations between you and an opponent. They call them the big blind, the little blind, and then there's like boss blinds. And what you have to hit a minimum number of chips in a certain number of hands. So you're given a bunch of cards. You're given more cards than you would get in a poker hand. You're given, I think, 8 cards. I believe it's 8. And you start building poker hands, and you can discard cards to try to get better hands. And you start building, you build poker hands. You don't have to do 5-card hands. You can do, if you have a pair, you can just do 2 cards. Or, you know, if you have 2 pair, you can just do 4 cards, whatever it is. If you want to do a straight or a flush, you need to do 5 cards. None of this sounds interesting, right? None of this sounds unique or cool, or the fact that it will like addict you like cocaine. It is, the genius of this game comes in the fact that you are able to manipulate this multiplier in really interesting ways. Because when you meet the minimum number of chips in a hand, you are awarded money, a payout. And it's like $4, $6. If you're really rocking $8. But it's based on if you've done it in the fewest number of hands that you can in order to hit the minimum. So you're trying to do it. So you're trying to have these really powerhouse payout hands to have hands left over, because you get money credit for the hands you didn't use. And then you take that money and you immediately go into a store. And that store lets you purchase a whole bunch of wild things that all of a sudden start giving you these builds in your roguelite run that get, friends, absolutely bonkers. And it is so there's these jokers that you can have in play, and the jokers will add rules or break rules, as the case may be, that mess with your multiplier. So there'll be things like if you make a straight, your multiplier is bumped up by 5 or 15 or whatever. Or if you may have a flush, or if you do it, have this, if you have odd numbered cards, like, 3, 5, and 7 in your hand, then you get an extra multiplier or whatever. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because things get nuts. And you have these other kinds of cards that let you do like sort of they're like consumable cards that let you mess with your hands. There's packs that you can open that have a variety of things in them. And I mean, evidently, just in the demo, there's like 150 jokers, different jokers that are available. And I think in the full release, they're planning to do like quadruple that or something insane. And you get to these crazy runs. Like I got this Joker that was a glitched Joker. So it was like, it looked all glitched and weird. So every time I made a hand, it would randomize the multiplier. So it would like maybe it added a 5 multiplier. Maybe it added 50 multiplier. It was just sort of like this crazy, wacky thing. And you start building these incredible loadouts because you can only have, I think, 5 Jokers in play at one time. And other cards, the consumables, you can have 2 at a time. And you start building these like wild loadouts that really is sort of the essence of, in my opinion, what a roguelite is like, I've acquired these power-ups and now I'm building this Rube Goldberg machine of interplay between those power-ups so that it makes my play style do this certain thing that a different run I would never be able to do. So each run is this wildly different play style. That's what I love about roguelites, right? That's one of the things I love about them. And this is like that distilled and concentrated. And it is very addictive. I mean, if you're like me and you just love it's fast, it gets challenging, it's interesting. And so then you get these boss battles that you get into. They will have, the boss has a debuff that can totally mess with you. And so you're like forced to have 5 card hands, or it'll be like, if you use any hearts in your hand, they don't count. Or it'll say, just wacky things that make you, you have to, you don't get any discards. You can't discard a card for this entire fight. So you only get what you get, and now you're in trouble. I don't know if I'm doing a good job describing Balatro. I am, I'm hooked on this game. It's okay, ridiculous. Jeff? It's ridiculous.
And I think the reason you were struggling to describe it is because I can see the reflection from your glasses. You're actively playing it, which I feel like is rude to our listeners.
Yeah. This game is only a demo. It's not out yet. And it's so deep and so dense, and you can just keep playing it right now. They haven't said when that full game is coming out. But I don't usually just recommend demos to people. But if you like roguelites, you got to give Balatro a try. It's crack. It's crack.
Is there an end?
Well, for the demo, there's an end. Yes, for the demo is you can only go up to ante 5, which I don't even want to explain what that means. But you can only go so far in the demo, but you can keep doing new runs, and they're not any less fun. It's like there's no, you play Hades or something to
Never heard of it.
See where the story goes, or open up the next cool. But this is just infinite gameplay loop. It's just pure distilled strategy gameplay that never gets old, never gets. It's wild how much they've managed to jam in the interplay between these cards, even in just a demo. I don't know. It's pretty intense. It's pretty cool. And it's just like, it's one of those games where, you play an Alan Wake 2 or a Spider-Man 2 or a Starfield or something, and you feel like, oh, I did something. This game is, I just wake up 3 hours later, and I'm like, I've accomplished nothing. I've gotten no farther. I've experienced no new things. I just had this. It's like candy. It's like pure candy.